Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Pulse Podcast. I'm Akeem Taylor.
And I'm Tony Green.
And we're going to recap the NFL weekend and also give a little preview for NBA Cup action. And let's get straight into it. And also talk about the MVP debate a little bit later. Let's start off Thursday night, Texans, that defense, CJ Stroud. No, CJ Stroud actually was playing. They had Davis Mills in there. Bills lost 23-19. James Cook had an early run for a touchdown early in the game. But the defensive brilliance from the Texans, they absolutely shut down. Josh Allen had a career high 8 sacks and the 70 yards lost. Will Anderson had 2 sacks. Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions and obviously threw the game-sealing pick to Kalen Bullock with 18 seconds left. Do you think the Texans can make a title run? Not title run, but I'd say a run to the playoffs and make a big run in the playoffs.
The AFC is pretty stacked, but I think they can do it, especially off the backs of that defense. Like you said, 8 sacks. Josh Allen had no room for comfort all night. And it's crazy because he's a big dude too. Yeah. So to have him that uncomfortable in the pocket was something special, especially without their starting quarterback.
Texans improved to 6-5, climbing up the rankings into playoff contention. Their defense is now recognized as one of the best in the league and most disruptive units in the league. Buffalo Bills are set back to 7-4, dropping 6 in the AFC standings. There's questions about their offensive line and defense against elite defenses. On the other side of the ball, do you think the Bills can connect back on the offensive side and, get some running going on the offensive side? Because they're struggling offensively. Defense seems like they're okay. They had a lot of injuries. Khalil Shakir's their main guy. Keon Coleman was another healthy scratch again for that game. What do you think is the woes for the Bills?
Yeah, I think that getting Keon Coleman back will take care of some of those passing woes. And James Cook is a really good running back. And, of course, they have the reigning MVP, who I might disagree with, but he's still a great quarterback. So I think that they very clearly still have a shot at making a deep run in the playoffs, but it all depends on execution at this point.
You also had some big comebacks in the Sunday OT thrillers. Chiefs came back, not the Chiefs, the Colts lost to the Chiefs 23-20. The Lions came back after being down to the Giants. Giants were playing fantastic, and then their defense, I don't know what happened, just turned their brains off in the second half again. And obviously, Shane Bowen finally got fired, thank God. Dallas overturned a 21-0 hole to the Eagles. Let's talk about that game for a little bit. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are flying 21-0, leading the second quarter. They obviously gave up a late touchdown to end the first half. And then second half, Dak Prescott, like you mentioned before, it's having an MVP-type season. Absolutely showed up in the second half, threw another touchdown to a tight end, Brent Seven Ford in the third quarter, then tied the game at an 8-yard rush in the fourth. A massive defensive turnaround for the Cowboys. They went 5-5 and won, which is kind of a unique record at this point. Eagles, again, it seemed like their defense previous weeks were playing fantastic, and again against the Cowboys, they just didn't show up.
You said the defense didn't show up?
Yeah, the Eagles, it seems like it's an occurrence. Just shut down in the first half after they have a phenomenal performance. They did this against the Broncos. They were up 17-0, and then they just gave up.
Right. I'd have to disagree with that. Obviously, we're going to have to circle back to that Colts-Chiefs game too as well, because that was a disappointment to me. But with this game, I feel like it's largely on the offense. Yeah. I feel like A.J. Brown, he's been right the whole season. There has been nothing clicking. I understand there's some offensive line roles, so Saquon Barkley really doesn't have any holes that he can hit so that he can get his burst of speed. But at the end of the day, I feel like those fumbles in the fourth quarter especially kept putting that defense on the field. Mm. There's only so many plays that you could keep your defense on the field, especially a defense that's that dominant. They're going to give 100% every time, and that comes at a cost. And I was really disappointed in Jalen Hurts. I believe it was a 3rd and 2 or a 4th and 2, and he had the opportunity to get a first down, but he took a sack.
Yeah.
He took a sack at the end of the game. at the end of a game that's very close, very dependent on your team driving down the field and at the very least getting a field goal. So I'm disappointed in someone that's shown to be a proven winner as a Super Bowl MVP.
Obviously, I'm a Giants fan, so when I was watching that game, they came back. I was like, okay, all right, if they win, they lose. I don't
They
really
watch.
care. We're out of the playoff picture. Obviously, that loss cost them number 1 seed. They gave up to the Rams, who were absolutely fantastic.
Right.
I was like, let's talk about the Rams for a little bit. They absolutely were dominant Sunday night against the Buccaneers. A Buccaneers team that, I mean, recently have been really, really struggling. I remember a couple weeks ago, we were talking about MVP, Baker Mayfield, and then they only won 1 of the last 5 games. What happened to the Buccaneers?
Well, they have a lot of key injuries going on right now. So I can understand their woes. But that Rams team, like, they surprised me.
Yeah, this
I
year,
don't
yes.
know where they came from. I know Matthew Stafford is a perennial Pro Bowl quarterback. I know that he's great. He's been great for over a decade at this point. But, like, he can lead a team.
Yeah.
He can really lead a team. And I'm really happy for the Rams, in all honesty.
Yeah, looking back to that 2021 team that won the Super Bowl, I mean, elite defense. Matthew Stafford's on
Right.
fire. They had Cooper Kupp, who was on fire that year, Triple Crown. They obviously have Devontae Adams. They have Puka Nacua. Kyron Williams is fantastic. That team is spooky.
Yeah.
Spooky team. Let's also talk to the other games. Like, we want to circle back to the Cincinnati
Chiefs-Colts.
the Chiefs-Colts game.
Yeah, like,
what happened there?
It was
Jonathan
just,
Taylor, no show, but Kareem Hunt was fantastic. He had like 40 carries, 100 yards, a touchdown. Absolutely bludgeoned the Colts defense.
it was good to see. Honestly, I'm not much of a Chiefs fan, but
Mhm.
to see Kareem Hunt come back and have a showing like that, it was reminiscent of when I actually liked the Chiefs because they had a chance of beating Brady.
Mhm.
But the Colts are an underdog team to me, even though they're 8-3. I really wanted to see them win that game. I really did. It was disappointing because their defense did play exceptionally well as well. But after that first quarter, it's like Daniel Jones kind of just disappeared. There was nothing going down for him. And Jonathan Taylor, I don't think they really utilized him as much as they should have, because I think when teams get into a battle against the Chiefs, they try to keep up with Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Even if they're up, even if they're leading. I feel like they think that they have to throw the ball 40 plus times just to compete with Pat. And honestly, the Colts could have just stuck to their formula and had a much better showing.
Yeah, Jaguars did the same thing. They just ran the ball. Trevor Lawrence ran the ball effectively against them as well. Obviously, that's a big win for the Chiefs. It puts them at 6-5.
Right.
Colts get knocked down a couple spots in the AFC to the 3rd seed. I don't think there's a way and path of victory for the Chiefs to get to the playoffs, but if they win out, which it's possible they can win out, are they probably one of the most scarier teams still in the playoffs
Oh,
if
of
they were
course.
to win out?
Yeah, that championship DNA. Even though they lost last year, their franchise is still spearheaded by Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. It seems like there's a little bit of turmoil between the two this year, but at the end of the day, I feel like those two, like, their minds together, when they put their minds together, at the end of the day, they'll always make a run. So I can't ever count them out.
Yeah, I can't count them out either, but I heavily doubt it. I hope
Yeah.
we have a new Super Bowl, and it's not the Chiefs in there every single year.
Mhm.
Hopefully, we could see like a Rams Patriots Super Bowl. That would be pretty sick. But other games, yeah, the Seahawks barely squeak out a win against Tennessee. Patriots beat Baltimore. Bengals, excuse me. The Jets lose to Baltimore by 13, 10-23, and Jesus Christ, I said New England. San Francisco won on Monday night against the Panthers. Panthers were streaking into that game. They were playing very, very well. You saw the game before. Bryce Young he broke Cam Newton's
Right.
record for most passing yards in the whole entire game. Like
450 passing.
insane. I think this is probably the question that I would like to ask you. Do you think Bryce Young could be their future quarterback despite the ups and downs? He had a great game a couple weeks ago, and then he had this abysmal performance against San Francisco.
Him as the franchise quarterback, I believe it's possible, but I believe that's more dependent upon the actual franchise. So the Carolina Panthers, I think they have to do a better job of surrounding him with talent and understanding that he's a different kind of quarterback. He's only like 5'9".
Yeah, he's like 5'10",
His skill,
198. He's a skinny, small quarterback.
his skill set is different. So as a franchise that's not that has a history of not being that adaptive, I think they really have to put their heads down and study what he does really well and implement that.
Yeah. And obviously, like you said, surrounded with talent. They have Tedder McMillan, who's fantastic. Rico Dowdle seems like a Pro Bowl level running back after he left Dallas. They need to build an offensive line. The defense is okay. They have some nice pieces here. J.C. Horn, Derek Brown in the middle, but they need to improve all around. Let's talk about college football. We had a couple not decent games. BYU beat Cincinnati. Michigan beat Maryland. USC got absolutely stomped out by Oregon. And then we had an upset game later in the night where Georgia Tech lost to Pitt.
Mhm.
You want to talk about that game a little bit? Because I was watching that game, and Georgia Tech was first half. I don't know what it was. They just shut their brains off. Haynes King threw 2 picks, costly pick 6 in the second half when they were starting to late rally back. The loss to Pittsburgh obviously cost them in the ACC. With them losing that game, they can't play an ACC title game. That opens the door for Pitt to get into ACC title game, and whoever wins the ACC title can get into the college football playoff. Miami can get in there as well. What was your? I would say your.
I was so happy. I was so happy that Georgia Tech lost because, like you said, now it opens up the door for Miami to come into the playoff mix, which is something that I really like to see because those 2 losses that they took were abysmal. They should be undefeated, but it's just playing down to their competition. But at the end of the day, yeah, Pitt did a really good job at that game, and I believe that the weather impacts of Miami about to go to Pitt, I don't know.
I think they can handle it. And just in case, I'm gonna just give you a little heads up. I'm a Georgia fan. Sometimes in big games, Carson Beck, you see it before. Carson Beck,
I know.
You'll throw a couple picks and it'll be costly. Do you think that they can beat Pittsburgh at Pitt? It's gonna be a really tough game.
No, I think that they can beat them. I think that they definitely can, and it's gonna have to depend on the running game, especially in weather such as that. Carson Beck, like you said, he's not the most dependable in these moments, but at the very least, he's been solid this year. He's been serviceable. I mean, they only have 2 losses on the year, so I have to put some faith in him.
Yeah, I won't put the faith in him. Honestly, looking at that, our teams in the playoffs, like Georgia, like Alabama, Indiana, who's been fantastic. Oregon, yeah, no. Even if you were to get into the playoff, I don't think you're beating any of those teams if you match up against them.
And then there was another game too. Notre Dame against Syracuse.
Yeah, that's not even. I don't even know. That was like NBA type line, like 70 points.
It was crazy. It's like, and the head coach Fran Brown, he walks onto the field, tells Michael Irvin not to get used to this, and then the next week rolls out 70 points, drops 7 points. It was ridiculous, but he did have a good year last year.
Yeah,
I'm hating because they did beat us last year in our playoff hope, but yeah, it was a cool game.
Let's talk about the NBA. We have NBA Cup action tonight. The first game we have on the slate, Magic versus 76ers. Obviously, Magic don't have Paolo Banchero. He's been hurt. 76ers, Joel Embiid's in and out of the lineup. Paul George started to come back. In his last couple of games, he's been decent. Tyrese Maxey has been playing like an MVP level. I mean, dropping like 40 points every other game. Who do you have in this matchup between the Magic and the Sixers?
I think that the Magic play way better when one of their superstars are missing. I think the ball just moves around better. So Mo Wagner and Paolo Banchero.
Yeah.
It's strange, their dynamic. I think one of them needs to get out of there, and that's probably going to be Mo. But I think that Tyrese Maxey is the most exciting thing in Philly since Allen Iverson.
That's crazy.
I mean, we're from up north, so we understand how much up north we love guards.
I mean, Tyrese Maxey's a baller, but you're talking about MVP. You're talking about carrying a team MVP. Can he do this throughout the whole season? I don't think so. Maybe potentially.
I think he actually can. He's really excited. I'm not going to give him MVP. I'm not saying he's going to get 40 every night like AI.
I mean,
I'm just saying. Well,
with Joel Embiid in and out the lineup, Paul George. I mean, pandemic P. I mean, he's old HP at this point. Like he's past his prime.
True.
And then obviously you have VJ Edgecombe, Quentin Grimes. They have good players, but he's the number one de facto guy. I don't see Tyrese Maxey. If I were to build a championship team, he's my number one guy. I don't think I'm gonna win the championship.
Oh no. I think the supporting cast has to look a lot different for him to be the number one option and win a championship. But I'm gonna give this game to Philly.
At home as well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this game to Philly. I feel like Orlando has just been a disappointment, especially in the East that's wide open.
Yeah. They traded 3 first-round picks for Desmond Bane, and they're barely over 500.
Ridiculous.
We have a battle of LA, Clippers versus Lakers. LeBron's been back the past couple games. Lakers have been okay. in those past couple games. They're 2-0, but defensively they've been absolutely horrid under him. I mean, this plus minus is like barely a net, it's like barely a positive defensively. But it's old man LeBron. I'll give him a little bit of a break. Kawhi will be back tonight as the Clippers are rounding their first win streak of the season. Who do you have in this game? Even though I feel like I think it's kind of simple to say that the Lakers are going to win because they've been dominant. This is Luka's team. He's taken over. Austin Reed's been fantastic. DeAndre Ayton's actually been pretty underrated. Jake LaRavia, great addition. And obviously the Clippers all season. I mean, they let go Chris Paul. He's been terrible. I mean, he's 40 years old. He doesn't add any, offensive or defensive, contribution to the team. Bradley Beal's out for the year. I mean, it's like an old squad, and they're just, they're getting cooked almost every night.
They're trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Clippers are on the verge of giving the OKC Thunder another top 4 pick. So, at the end of the day, I'm going to give this to the Lakers. To be truthful, it was kind of funny seeing like the discourse of LeBron James coming back.
Mm-hmm.
People thinking that he would mess up the whole team. Like, it's LeBron James. Like, this guy has literally one of the highest basketball IQs of all time. And we're talking about him messing up team chemistry.
No,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no. And then the final out, Hawks versus Wizards. I think it's pretty simple. The Hawks going to win that. Wizards only have 1 win on the season. Worst record in the league.
And Jalen Johnson has been balling.
Yeah, he's been cooking. He won Player of the Month last month.
Right.
He's been averaging double-double. He's been fantastic.
An emerging star for sure.
All right. After the break, we're going to talk about the MVP debate. Matthew Stafford versus Drake May.
Untouchable, unstoppable.
This is WIUR Sports Radio.
Hi, I'm Robbie Basil, president of WIUR Radio, and I hope you're enjoying today's show. Have you ever wanted to call the biggest games, the biggest moments for the biggest names for Iona Athletics? Then the newly founded WIUR Sports Radio is the place to be. Launched in January of 2025, our goal is to try and get broadcasters here at Iona an opportunity to learn, succeed, and get a chance to be on air. From getting to call the big moments at the hack.
Dinkins trying to go to the rack. Denied! Yafet Mundi with
to seeing the crack of the bat at City Park.
the line drive into left field, around third, and it kicks away. The Gales are going to win it in 10.
We make those moments happen on our brand new WIUR Sports Radio platform on Mixer. If you're interested, feel free to reach out to me via email or to the rest of my e-board to join the club. We are WIUR Sports Radio, the new home of Iona Athletics. Now, back to the show on WIUR, Iona University Radio.
All right, we're back. Let's hop right into the MVP debate. I mean, there's obviously other candidates involved, but I feel like it's clear to Drake May and Matthew Stafford. Like we said with Matthew Stafford, Rams been fantastic. Matthew Stafford's been impeccable. I found a stat that he's one of only 4 quarterbacks in NFL history to start 11 games with 30 touchdowns and less than 2 interceptions or less, joining Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers did twice, actually, and Patrick Mahomes. All those guys have won MVP. Drake May's, been fantastic in his own right. 2,600 yards. 3,100 total yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, top 5 in passer rating. Has a couple of rushing touchdowns as well. Who do you think will probably win MVP towards the end of the season if these two keep going at it back and forth, win after win after win?
I'm giving it to Stafford. Like you said, that TD interception ratio is insane. He hasn't thrown a pick since September. We're in November, about to be in December. So, he's obviously balling. Drake May is doing a great job, of course. He's very young. He's leading a great team, and they're getting wins. So Drake May obviously has a say in the matter, but at the end of the day, Matthew Stafford is willing his team to wins more than I feel like Drake May is willing his team to wins.
Yeah, I feel like it, like you said before, I feel like Drake May has been good, but Matthew Stafford's just been that cut above. And obviously he's done this before. He's been in the league for 17 years. He's made, a couple runs for, MVP race. The last time when he went to Super Bowl, he was top 5 in MVP votes, but he's been absolutely fantastic. when you look at his game, 2,800 yards, like I said, 30 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It's insane. Fifth in the league in passer rating. Absolutely phenomenal. And then obviously, like looking at Drake May's record, they're 10-2. They've been phenomenal. They beat some really good teams. They beat the Buccaneers. They beat the Bills. You know, they're a really, really good team. Who would you favor if these two collide in the granddaddy of them all, Super Bowl? Who do you favor?
I think that'll be a weak Super Bowl, frankly.
You really think so?
Yeah, but
you don't think the Patriots have a chance?
I don't know.
They got a good defense. They got decent wideout. Obviously, Christian Gonzalez on the defensive side, one of the best corners in the league. Their wide receiver core, obviously, Stephon Diggs.
Right.
He's taking that veteran role. He's been phenomenal. Keyshawn Boutte, he's been really, really good. Hunter Henry, Travion Henderson, Drake May's dual threat, kind of like Josh Allen. I feel like they have a chance.
Yeah, I give it to the Rams though. I believe that obviously Vrabel is doing a great job for the Patriots because they sucked last year. I believe he's making a real difference for the team, and that they should be really appreciative of what's happening. But at the end of the day, I think I'm going to give it to the proven winner, the person that's been in the game for over a decade. So I'm going to give it to Matthew Stafford and the Rams.
Yeah, I think Matthew Stafford's going to win it. Obviously, I'm also a Georgia fan, so I'm rooting for him. I'm a Georgia Bulldog, former Georgia Bulldog. To wrap it off for the show, I'm going to talk about Arsenal. I think Arsenal has been fantastic this year.
I got one more question for you after that, too.
Yeah. But they haven't been fantastic this year. It's a big week. Tomorrow, play Bayern Munich, and then wrap it up on Sunday. Beating Chelsea, that'll be phenomenal. They'll put us 9 points ahead. We're only be 10 points ahead because we're 7 points clear right now. Come on, you go news. Also, what's your question that you wanted to ask?
Did you catch the Browns Raiders game?
Ooh, yes. I mean,
that's a hard. It's not
Shador
really
Sanders finally is getting his moment. Finally, I mean, we all know that Kevin Stefanski doesn't really like to do it. He's not really giving a solid chance.
Right.
What was he? Fourth quarterback on the depth chart in training camp behind Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, all these bum quarterbacks. Like, he finally got his chance. I'm happy for Shador. Obviously, we've seen in the Brown organization, like, talented quarterbacks, they kind of died there. So I hope he showcases talent in the next 2 years and then go somewhere else.
Right.
Honestly, because he's not going to do well with the Browns. It's Myles Garrett, too. He needs to find a trade. He should have signed that contract.
Goodness. Myles Garrett is another thing to talk about.
He's on a Lawrence Taylor type run right now.
I can't compare him to anybody. He has 13 sacks over the last 4 games. I want him to, like, really, really break the record. I know the record is 23, 22 and a half.
Yep, 22 and a half.
I want him to have like 25, 26 sacks.
I mean, he's on that pace. He's already, at 13 and 12 games in?
I think, he has 18.
Oh, 18.
But he has 13 over the last 4.
He's on that pace, unless, obviously, knock on wood, he doesn't get an injury. But hopefully he can break that record. And then this offseason, he's got to ask for a trade because he's not going to do anything with the Browns. Actually, who would it be like a short team list for him to go to? You have the Colts, maybe potentially, I don't want it to happen, but Chiefs, possible chance. Maybe the Patriots trying to, trade for him, use their assets that they have in trade equity. Maybe the Bills, because they do need a star pass rusher next to Greg Rousseau. Joey Bosa's been good, but he's old. Probably give me like 3 teams that you think that would be a great landing spot for him this offseason.
Yeah, I'd go Colts. I think he fits their scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go Chiefs to partner him up with Chris Jones. He's aging.
Yeah.
And then I'd actually go Texans. They get after the quarterback really well.
That defense would be even
Disgusting.
scarier. Oh my goodness.
Right.
But I think that's a wrap for the show today in the Sports Pulse podcast. My name is Akeem Taylor.
I'm Tony Green.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, and see you guys the week after Thanksgiving.
This is WIUR Radio.
Hi, I'm Morgan Beastie from the Ionian, and I hope you're enjoying today's show.